Deck with Decker. We're now joined by Brett Decker, the editorial page editor of the Washington Times. My friends, there is a lead editorial in tomorrow's paper. Just go to the commentary section at www.washingtontimes.com, the editorial or commentary section. It is called The Patriotism Gap. Read it, and I advise you and urge you to send it out to all of your friends. At a recent USA Today Gallup poll shows that, guess what? Not only are more Americans becoming more patriotic, but the gap between American liberals and the rest of the public is widening. American liberals are less patriotic than conservatives, and Brett Decker from the Washington Times is here to talk it over with us. Brett, how are you, my buddy?
Oh, the country's falling apart, but the Tigers are in first place, so I guess that's 50-50.
So it's not too bad, huh? Yeah. Brett, listen, you sent me, you teased it to me, you sent me the editorial just about half an hour ago. It's a wall banger of an editorial. For all of our listeners out there, what is the basic point or theme of tomorrow's editorial?
I tell you, it's really amazing stuff. It's this poll that was done in June by USA Today, a liberal paper, and the Gallup polling firm on patriotism of Americans. And what's important about it is it's not anyone saying anything about anyone else. It's self-described conservatives, liberals, Democrats, Republicans saying how patriotic they consider themselves. And the poll shows a couple things, but one, among Republicans, for example, 52% consider themselves overall very patriotic. Among Democrats, only 20% of Democrats say they consider themselves patriotic. I think that's pretty amazing.
It's remarkable. I mean, and this is self-defined. This is not somebody saying whether you're patriotic or not. These are people saying, look, I'm a liberal, and the question is, well, are you patriotic or not? And the liberals are saying, no, we're not that patriotic, correct?
Exactly. The three lowest groups in the category considering themselves patriotic, Democrats, only 20%. Self-identified liberals, someone, yeah, I'm a liberal, only 19% say they're patriotic. And then this is key for the future, and the younger generation, between 18 and 29, only 22% say they're patriotic. My guess is they earn more money, they start paying taxes, that'll go up.
No, you're right. But Brett, I think what it shows is the destructive impact of our education system, where they're taught that America is a racist, sexist, imperialist, genocidal country, and so they feel there's nothing to love.
Yeah, if you go back to what the First Lady, Michelle Obama, said, remember during the campaign when her husband was nominated to be president, and she said this is the first time in her adult life she's been proud of her country. And I think, that's the kind of thing they're teaching in our schools is, America has a bad past, America persecutes the world. They're not telling people, look, this is the best country in the world by far.
Brett, why do you think it is that so many Democrats and so many liberals do not describe themselves as patriotic? Why this antipathy towards America, and why this antipathy towards patriotism?
For a long time there's been this sort of hate America first, kind of self-flagellation on the left. I think one issue that comes into play is, the Tea Party movement, waves the flag a lot and is sort of hyper-patriotic, and I think there's some resistance to that. But in general, I think it's just the left doesn't appreciate the values that most Americans do as far as thinking, there is something special about this place. I think fundamentally there's a different vision. There are two different visions of America. In the old days when we were kids, there used to be this jingle, baseball, hot dog, apple pie, and Chevrolet. And I think for these liberals and Democrats, they have a different vision. It's like soccer, couscous, and maybe a little smart car. But the strengths of America that we have military power. We use it sometimes to help other people, but we're charitable. We all these things about America that we look out for the little guy. They don't want us to look out for the little guy. They want government to take care of everything.
Brett, look, do I think America is an exceptional country? Without question. Do I think we're a special country? Without question. Do I think we're the greatest country in the history of the world? Without a doubt. But let me just play devil's advocate with you, just for a second. You know, we still have a free speech zone, at least here on conservative talk radio, and we can throw up ideas that maybe liberals will find offensive, but that's too bad. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we are a flawed country. I mean,
Sure.
Many Russians love Russia, even though you had communism under Stalin. You have Putin, who's presiding over a gangster regime. You go in opinion polls there, they still love their country. Many people in China, even though they have an abhorrent totalitarian regime, still love their country. What's wrong with loving your country, even if it's not charitable, even if it has been racist? In other words, can't we separate love of country from what the government does? Why this sense among liberals, which is so rare in America? I mean, even the left in Greece, they love Greece. The left in Germany, they love Germany. They don't just say, well, it's all about Hitler. They still say, well, no, it's my homeland. I love my homeland. It's where I was born. Why is it that here in America, the left despises America, despite whether it's good or bad or been, had done good things or bad things in the past? Isn't it not just natural to love what's your own, to love where you've been born?
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that part, other than I think in a lot of other countries there's a lot less of that sentiment now, and people are looking, they're more globalist. In Europe, people think of themselves, a little bit more as Europeans
I got
than
you.
they do as Belgians.
I got you. So they're not Greeks
just,
first, they're Europeans first, right?
I mean, if I was Belgium, maybe I would too. I don't know. But, here there's always been more pride in being American, in that because of that we can channel some of that, those special qualities through government. And part of that is believing we can restrain our government where other countries never have tried.
Okay. No, that's a fair point. But, Brett, do you think, is there something, what I'm asking you is this. Yeah. Is there something inherently masochistic, self-hating about the American left that is different from other liberal movements in other countries? That's my question. In other words, you talk to a Russian, he still loves Russia. I mean, he doesn't like Putin, didn't like Stalin, didn't like Brezhnev, but he says, hey, we had Tolstoy, we had Dostoevsky, we have great literature, we have great food. I love the Russian language. It's where I was born. It's a part of me. It's a part of who I am. I don't want to hate myself. I don't like my government, but I love my country. Why is it in America we can't love our country? Just for the sake because it gave us birth.
I think definitely the left is, sort of self-hating in America, but I think a lot of these leftist movements are pretty global in the way they're thinking. They're against the nation state all over the place. It's part of the sort of communist ethic of things. You got to chop away at these traditional associations. So I think loving your country is one of the sort of passe, charming passe ideas of the past.
I got you. So you're saying almost inherent in liberal ideology is to despise the nation state. And if you despise the nation state, of course you have to hate your own country.
Yeah, I mean, among revolutionary movements, at one point they were building up the nation state, and now they're tearing it down. And why? It's because it's, it furthers chaos, and in the middle of chaos you can create something new. And I think what they want to create is pretty scary.
We have been talking to Brett Decker. He is the editorial page editor of the premier conservative national newspaper in America. Believe me, if you're not reading the editorial pages and commentary pages of the Washington Times, you are missing out on the best commentary and analysis in the country and maybe even in the English-speaking world. Brett, we'll see you back next Wednesday, buddy.
Great. Soccer, couscous, and smart cars. That's the future, guys.
Well, hey, Spain beat Germany 1-0, Brett. It's big news on Drudge. Huge news.
There must have been, the referees must have been bought.
Take care, Brett.
God bless America.